Hey everyone, how are you? It is Thursday night. It's Thursday night with Ping, but I'm in Australia, so it's Friday here. So it's Thursday, Friday night day with Ping. Hey, how are you? All good to see you in the chat. Kim says, I'm glad I made another live. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Jojo, hey Jojo, how are you? Mr. Cat, what are you doing up here? The cat's back. You're gonna work in the yard. Okay, have fun. Nana Lana, how are you? Kelly, hey Kelly, how are you, my friend? Diane, good to have you here. Oh, she's driving. Drive carefully, please. Uh, Flying DJ, hey DJ. And Kathy was the second here. DJ was the first. Juniper, hey Juniper. Muffin, get down. Not notified. Really, I put the show on 7 hours before we went live. It had been up for since 5-6 hours ago, I started the show. Hey Shirl, how are you? Lindy, good to have you. Lots of big stories in true crime actually today. Some really important ones, including a cold case. So a cold case which was solved in not what we think of as cold case now. Everything is genetic genealogy right now, right? But this was solved with good old-fashioned police work, and we're gonna have a look at it. So let me get it set up and hope that I have the right one because I got a couple to show you. Which one is it? Okay. Is that one? This one? Okay, we'll see if it's this one. It is this one. Okay. So the sheriff did a big press conference today. It's Volusia County, and the sheriff's office here. They got a picture here. We'll have a look at that in a second. But it says home moved to excavate remains of Florida teen missing since 2004. They're not kidding. They actually had to dig up an entire concrete like driveway and like foundation to get to where her body was. And the story of how they got there is really interesting and a credit to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. And they were in cooperation with a doctor for like I think she a DNA doctor or a anthropologist. I'm not sure, but you'll see her on the press conference in a minute. Now, originally, they said that Autumn Lane McClure, she was a mainland high school student who disappeared on May 10th, 2004. Her remains were found during the excavation of a suspected burial site on Wednesday. She'd been missing for like basically 20 years. No one had any idea what happened to her, and the story of like her last few moments of, sightings was a bit weird. It says her boyfriend supposedly dropped her off at the local mall, but later on, many, many years later, he actually told police he lied and he did not drop her off at the mall. He actually dropped her off on a bridge and saw her get in the car with someone else. So he lied to police, which could have helped them many, many years ago to help solve this. She ended up getting in a car with two people, a girl she worked with at Winn-Dixie called Jessica, and I think it's her partner. He was Brian Donnelly and Jessica Freeman. They were the couple that she went to stay with, and the story from here is somewhat graphic. I mean, we talk about true crime, but I thought I should give you a warning. Uh, from my understanding of it, she wasn't getting along with her grandmother at the time, and the way the detective described it was oil and water, like they just don't mix. And it was something to do with her grandmother being of an older generation and her being, a teenager wanting to do whatever she wanted to do. And it just wasn't working out at home. But when she went to stay with these people, it actually got so much worse. They were, I consider, I'm going to say maybe it started consensually at one point, but I think eventually it turned into sexual abuse. They were having sexual activity with this young girl. and at least one of them was in his 30s and the other one was a little older, but it got to the point where she didn't want to be there anymore. She wanted to go home, and for her to go home, she didn't want to be there at her grandmother's either because that situation wasn't great. So the fact she ran away from one place, went to stay with what she thought were friends, ended up in an abusive situation, wanted to go back to her grandmother's, a place she didn't want to be. I guess she probably felt at least it's safe there. I might not like what my grandma says, but at least I know I'm safe. Um, Unfortunately, one afternoon, Jessica came back to the property and witnessed Autumn was being strangled and being killed. She left the property for a period of time and came back, and Autumn was gone. She was gone. She asked, "Where is Autumn?" And he told her, "You shut your mouth, or what happened to her is going to happen to you." Now, this is just a background, like small bits of background, because I think the detectives will tell you a little bit better than I can. But it's just awful. It's a really awful story. But today is sort of a happy day in a way. They at least get some answers. They get some. They get some remains back to the family, and they can have a respectful burial for her. And yeah, so I'll read you a little bit here. But this story just gripped me. It was awful. It says here, many years later in 2016, Autumn's boyfriend told investigators he did not drop Autumn off at the mall, but instead dropped her off at the Seabreeze Bridge, where she got in the car with Jessica Freeman. 2 years later, detectives met with Freeman, then living in Nevada, who denied any of those events took place. Of course she did. In 2021, Chris Miller, a relative of Brian Donnelly and Jessica Freeman, called detectives and told them Autumn was dead and that Donnelly and Freeman had something to do with the murder. During a controlled call between Miller and Freeman, Freeman reportedly said Donnelly confessed to killing Autumn. Freeman, living in Florida again, then agreed to talk to investigators if she would be granted immunity. Now, in the press conference, they say they were a little unsure, but they were like, okay, we'll do it. They went to the DA, they worked it out, they were able to get the immunity for her, but it didn't go as planned. They said she confessed that Autumn lived with the pair and that they were involved in a sexual relationship at the time. Donnelly was 32 at the time of the sexual relationship, according to authorities. Freeman also said she saw Donnelly choking Autumn after coming home one evening and that Donnelly threatened to kill her to keep her quiet. Freeman told investigators Donnelly killed Autumn because she wanted to return home, and Donnelly was worried about facing legal consequences for their sexual relationship. Donnelly died May 26, 2022, while the investigation was ongoing. Um, he actually died in surgery. He was having a medical procedure and he passed away during the medical procedure. The cops worded it as if that was natural karma. They said that basically a higher power delivered justice on behalf of Autumn, meaning they didn't have to anymore. So, I sort of agree there that maybe it saved everyone a lot of headaches and things like that. It says here, the sad part is that he will never face in this world the justice for the evil he perpetrated against Autumn and probably other people. He also said, I'm hoping to God when he took his last breath on May 26, 2022, that maybe he had a vision of where he's headed. Could be. The remains were discovered buried under the area in the trailer home that Jessica and Donnelly shared together, which had been it's not there anymore. They actually redeveloped the site, but I'll get to that in a second. They're saying so. What they end up having to do, they ended up having to remove the home that had been redeveloped on the site. It was a huge undertaking. They had to remove what the new owner of the property had built. They had to dig up all this concrete that the owner had just put down and then try and find her body with ground penetrating radar. Now, they did find it. Really sort of remarkable that the homeowner was one, very helpful apparently. Two, the sheriff's office actually, I don't know, they didn't explain exactly what they did, but they said they made sure that the homeowner was reimbursed for the damage that they did. Now, it's really interesting. A lot of times when police do this, they just come to your door with a search warrant and they're like, hey, we think there's someone buried in your backyard and we're going to go in and get it. But no, they actually wanted to make sure that that homeowner in their county was, happy with the results afterwards, for helping them out. So they actually had the entire structure removed and put in a different location. Then they dug up all the concrete and they were able to find Autumn's body located exactly where Jessica said it would be. And she's finally going to go home, which it is a nice thing after being buried in a hole for 20 years. She gets to have a proper, respectful funeral, which is a nice thing in a way. So I want to show you a little bit of the press conference. It's really long. It's 20 minutes. I don't think we're going to watch it all because we only get an hour and a half. I'll have a look at the chat quickly before we move on to that. Danny Mitchell says, I'm hopeful justice in the next world is more. It should be for murder. Okay. Marilyn Landis says, my daughter said a tornado early hours of Wednesday morning in western suburbs of Chicago just weakened within 2 miles of their house in Geneva, Illinois. A lot of trees uprooted. EF1. Oh, storm season's coming. Is that the thumbs up? Hey, James Avery, how are you? All right, let's listen to Autumn's story with the there's a doctor, and she helped out on the search, and the sheriff and his deputies. Let's have a listen.
Our major case supervisor, Detective Sean McGuire, who was the assigned detective to this. Okay.
All right, here we go.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. We're going to talk about a cold case of a missing young girl, Autumn Lane McClure, who was reported missing in May of 2004. But before we get started, there's a lot of people that I need to thank who helped in this. Captain Paul Kammerer in the back there, and all of the investigative service unit. Sergeant Seth Amron, who is our major case supervisor. Detective Sean McGuire, who was the assigned detective to this case. Josh Mott in our forensics unit. Dr.
Did it just die? We're not having a good day today. What the hell is going on? Hold on, guys. What is going on? Hold on.
We're going to talk about a colder. Detective Sean McGuire, who was the assigned detective to this case. Josh Mott in our forensics unit. Dr. Sutton, you see on here with the University of Florida Maple Center for Forensic Medicine. She is absolutely amazing. And when you listen to her talk, you're going to see what an incredible person she is. Our road and bridge folks who helped us with the excavation, the medical examiner's office that was out there, and a company called Ameritech. They had to help us move the new homeowner's home and get into where we had to get into. And I really, really want to thank them.
It's not being our friend tonight, is it? It keeps pausing and buffering. I'm not sure what's going on. This has never happened when we've tried to do this. Hold on.
Begins in May of 2024. Autumn's grandmother calls the sheriff's office to report her missing. We contact her boyfriend, a Michael Camelli, who tells us that he dropped her off at the Volusia Mall and he hasn't seen her since. So detectives start doing everything they need to do. They put the missing persons flyer out there. They're doing neighborhood interviews. They're doing everything that we do when there is a missing person. The grandmother, Sherry McLure, calls us a couple of days later and says, hey, Autumn has called me from a 321 area code, and I've gotten some letters from her that are postmarked Melbourne, Florida. So that's the follow-up that we get. A little while later, in 2004 or so, detectives get some information that Autumn was staying at a house or at a trailer, 1320 Hand Avenue, Lot 32 in Ormond Beach, with a Brian Donnelly, who is wonderful arrest photos up there, and a Jessica Freeman. So detectives go out and they interview them, and they basically tell detectives that, well, Autumn, who has never run away before, this is the first time she runs away from her family. He really didn't get along with her grandmother, and I work with her at Winn-Dixie, and we let her stay at the house for a couple of days, but we don't know anything else. So everything goes cold. You look from 2005 to 2016. We obtained DNA from family members that we put in the CODIS system. She's entered into the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So everything that we're supposed to do, it's in there. So God forbid, if a body turns up, we're able to try to identify her. In 2016, detectives who are still working this case, obviously 12 years later, they recontact her boyfriend, Michael Camelli, and he admits that he lied to us in 2004. That, in fact, he didn't drop Autumn off at the Volusia Mall. He dropped her off at the Seabreeze Bridge, where she got into a car with Jessica Freeman. In 2018, 2 years later, detectives are successful in tracking down Jessica Freeman, who now lives in Nevada. And she says, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no information than what I told you before. In 2021, Detective McGuire gets a phone call from a Chris Miller. Chris Miller is related in certain ways through friendship and marriage to Brian Donnelly and Jessica Freeman. And he basically tells the detective, I got to get this off my chest. And basically what I need to tell you is there is a teenage girl who's missing and is dead, is buried in Volusia County, and Brian Donnelly and or Jessica Freeman had to have something to do with this. The detective is able to have Mr. Miller make a controlled call to Jessica Freeman, where she basically says in that controlled call that she saw Brian Donnelly kill Autumn, and then he told a myriad of stories that he chopped her up, he set her on fire, he buried her off of Flomish Avenue. He just tells her a whole bunch of different things. So then we go to 2022, where our suspect in this case dies. Karma is a bitch. He dies on May 26, 2022, almost 18 years to the day that we believe Autumn was killed. So now detectives go to re-interview Jessica Freeman because she now has moved from Nevada back to Florida in Crescent City, I believe. But she won't talk to us without immunity. So the detectives are able to go to state attorney's office, tell them what we have. State attorney's office grants her immunity to talk to us.
By the way, I'll just comment on that. That's pretty rare. It's not as easy as people make it out to be to go and just get immunity to get information for these type of cases, because having one suspect already pass away naturally, now you have this other person. What if they're the only living person they could charge with a crime? And to this day, after reading all this information, I'm still not 100% sure what she said to police is correct. I don't know if she's minimalizing her involvement even though she has the immunity. Does that make sense? I just feel like she said whatever she thought she had to get the detectives what they wanted and for them to leave her alone, even though she had the immunity. That's just my opinion. It's not fact, but it's just from my reading of it. Before we move to the next bit, I just wanted to say, States of the United, hey, how are you? I've not seen you here before, but thank you for dropping in. I saw that you said you were friends with Autumn when you were younger, when you were both kids. And then you said you hadn't seen her since you were like 9 years old. That's must be a very confronting day for you today, but I hope it at least gives you some answers, or at least you sort of know what happened. I can't even imagine what that is to feel like. I have no idea. But I hope it does give you answers of where your childhood friend went. I mean, that would be a hard thing to carry around with you all your life. So I appreciate you dropping in, though. I really do. I really do. Thank you for your input. It means a lot. And then there was one more. I'll show you one more. Where is she? Here. This one's very important. I was going to talk to this a bit after, but Autumn's mother passed away some years back without knowing where Autumn was. I think they say in the press conference the only living relative is an auntie. And I think that's correct. They said that that's the only person who's left directly related to Autumn is an auntie, but I could be wrong, but we'll see a bit later in the press conference. But thank you for your input, States the United. I do appreciate it. Let's listen to a little bit more. Sorry, I do have to stop it. It's a copyrighted video.
So she gives a statement to us that she basically worked with Autumn in the Winn-Dixie, and they allowed her to stay with her and Brian on this 1320 Hand Avenue, lot number 32. She tells us that Autumn couldn't live with her grandmother anymore. She said her grandmother was mean. They were involved in a sexual relationship with Autumn. Now, keep in mind, Brian was 31 at the time. Autumn was 16. She also goes on to tell us that she came home one afternoon and saw Brian choking Autumn in the bathroom. When by the time she intervened, she saw that Autumn was lifeless, and she left the house. She left the trailer. 2 weeks later, when she comes home, she sees there's plywood on the bedroom floor and asks what happened to Autumn and Autumn's stuff. And his response to her is, "Shut up, or the same thing will happen." Same thing will happen.
I have no idea what's going on tonight. I've never had so many problems with videos. This is bizarre. We play hundreds of videos, hundreds of film clips a week, and I've never had one do. I don't think we've ever had one do this. But just as we got started, Muffin was running around on top of the keyboard and stuff. So I don't know if he messed something up. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I was just seeing if it's the Wi-Fi because the cats were running around on there before. Let's see. Yeah, come on. Hold on. Let me turn off my keyboard. He was running on top of the keyboard just as we went live, and I had to remove him. So I don't know if he pressed any combination of crap on my keyboard, and that's why it's messing up. I don't know if it's that or there's a net issue or something. Because look, this is bizarre. All right, guys, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I really don't know. This is frustrating. Oh, he walked all over the keyboard, like just as I was played the video and or just before I came on air, he started walking up and down the keyboard, and I'm not sure if he did something or it's just an outage or something that's going on. Because I've never seen a video do this, just spin like this, and I'm live right now, and it says I've got good, good upload, good download. I'm not seeing any something like that. Hold on, let's see what happens if we refresh this. Can I even? Yeah, see, we've got net.
With the help of Meritech and Road and Bridge, move the folks' modular home out, tear up all of the concrete, and we begin excavation. And at this point, so there. is shut up or the same thing will happen to you. She's dead. If you don't want that to happen to you, shut up and mind your
Here we go.
business. So he tells her multiple stories through the years of how he cut Autumn up and buried her and spread her parts over different parts. She also stated that in late 2021 or early 2022, Brian paid a visit to 1320 Hand and saw the new manufactured home going in there and saw the new driveway going in and was very relieved at the construction that was taking place there. Jessica at the time did not tell us the exact location. She didn't know the exact location. So in late 2023, I guess she realizes, hey, this immunity stuff really works. She contacts Detective McGuire and says she's buried underneath where that trailer was. That's where you'll find her. So the detectives get together, they get warrants, a search warrant obtained, and now we have to work with the homeowner because we have a homeowner who now put this brand new modular home in, did all this work, and now we had to figure out a way to work with him and make him whole. So we get the warrant signed on the 21st of the month. On the 26th of the month, we execute the search warrant, which was Monday. On Tuesday, we start with the help of Meritech and Road and Bridge, move the folks' modular home out, tear up all of the concrete, and we begin excavation. And at this point, I will let Dr. Sutton jump in from there and thank her again for everything that she did.
All right, the next bit is actually from the I think she's a forensic doctor who actually did the plans and the actual dig on the site. She's the one who controlled like the ground penetrating radar and actually had to come up with different plans depending on if they could get permission to move the structure, which was the new modular home. If they couldn't get permission to remove that, what were they going to do? Apparently, they had to come up with like 5 or 6 different plans in case of different scenarios. Like if they hit a gas pipe, what would they do? Like all these type of situations. And before we do this, I wanted to show you the dig site. Hold on. Before we see from the doctor, I wanted to show you the dig site. Hopefully I can find it. No, that's not it. Okay. Fox 35. If it'll load. Come on, Fox. All right, here. So here's the dig site that they removed the property, the home from here, dug up all this there's all this concrete you can see that they've bashed through to get down into the actual dirt, and this was the excavation area. I think this is after they've removed her remains. I think this is probably later in the process, but you can see what an undertaking this was, and considering there was a home on top of it at the time. It's pretty crazy. States of the United says, finally knowing where Summer's been is closure, but knowing where she's been all this time is also hurts. I imagine it's a double-edged sword. What is it? Who is... What happened? Where is Nana Lana? I don't know. She must have left. She was here before. I'm not sure what happened to her. Oh, here she is. There. So there you go. There's the excavation site. So far, they haven't released too much more of the excavation site. Maybe out of due to respect for the family and the process and police integrity and those type of reasons. But yeah, let's listen to the doctor. She's really interesting. I'm sure she'll tell you what university she is from. But apparently, she worked under this sheriff or this sheriff office at one point, and that's how they know her. And yeah, she did a great job. They really love her. Apparently, this guy you see on the screen, he was saying like, "Oh, I was at the dig site and I was listening to her speak, and I was riveted. I couldn't turn away." And for someone who's been a sheriff for, you know, who knows how many years, 25, 30, 35 years, he's like, nothing much in life surprises or, is new to me. And he goes, everything she said was new. So he was quite rapt with her work. I think she did a great job. So let's listen to her speak.
because she can tell you what had occurred since then.
All right, great. Thank you, Sheriff Chitwood. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Leah Sutton with the University of Florida Naples Center for Forensic Medicine. And as a Volusia County native myself, I'm always appreciative of the opportunity to come back to the area and work with the Volusia Sheriff's Office on cases. So thank you to Sheriff Chitwood for the request to assist on this case and to work alongside your phenomenal deputies and investigators. This case in particular, we have been discussing and working on the logistics of searching the scene and possibly conducting an excavation at the site for about a year. But of course, having those structures and the concrete on that site really posed quite a unique challenge for the normal types of search techniques that we would ordinarily implement. One of the techniques that we did use on scene to identify areas of interest for excavation is a tool called ground penetrating radar. And that gives us indications, we call those anomalies, of any areas beneath the soil surface that might be of a different density than the surrounding soil. The challenge in many cases is that it doesn't always clearly differentiate what those anomalies specifically are. They can really be anything that's different. So that could be tree roots, utility lines, items of evidence, or even human remains. So we used this tool on scene and we located a few specific areas of interest in our search yesterday. From there, we began the excavation process in those targeted areas, and we were very fortunate to be able to locate and recover a set of human remains. Ultimately, this case is a testament to the power of effective collaboration within a medical legal death investigation. Our successful outcome yesterday was the direct result of many different forensic disciplines working together for a common cause. We had the solid investigative work in collecting, verifying, corroborating information from an informant. We had proper resource allocation, which included access to that heavy equipment used on scene, which aided the excavation process itself. We had lots of personnel support on scene, which was tremendously helpful. Bringing in and working with an external forensic team like ours from the Maple Center for Forensic Medicine also helps with the access to that specialized equipment and technology like the ground penetrating radar. And of course, support from the Sheriff's Office leadership, which all allowed us to work this case in the very best way possible. Every case that we work presents its own unique challenges, but this was one of the more challenging ones due to the need to relocate entire structures and remove concrete before we could even begin to effectively search and excavate any areas of interest. So overall, this is really an extremely intense and resource-heavy operation. But all of the factors came together to help us achieve our successful outcome, which was locating and recovering these remains. More often than not, cold case investigations and searches like this lead to dead ends. But yesterday was a different story. I attribute our ability to locate and recover these remains not only to effective collaboration, but more importantly, to the unwavering persistence of everyone involved. Because of that, we were able to recover these remains and thereby start the process of bringing justice to the victim and offering closure for her families and her loved ones. Cases like this, they're why we do what we do. And I'm extremely grateful to have been able to assist in this one.
Doctor, don't go anywhere.
She's amazing to listen to. She really is. I could have listened to her for hours, especially if she had a better microphone or a feedback into the stream. I could listen to an hour presentation from her. She was amazing. What did you guys want me to address? From Annika? What? Let me see. Is it about a different case? Oh, about Yeah, we will cover that after this. Yeah, we will cover that after this. 20 years, yeah. It's a long time. Laura G says the Maple Center, which is where the doctor is from, is named after Dr. William Maples, a noted forensic scientist. His book, Dead Men Do Tell Tales, is a great read. There you go. That's very interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, have fun. Yeah. So this press conference is really interesting. There is a little bit more, but I think we'll probably just leave it. It's mainly just them talking about more like just thanks for being here, and we did a great job and stuff like that. So most of the main details we have listened to. I want to thank News Channel 8 WFLA in Florida for that source. I appreciate it. No, Annika, that's fine. You can interrupt all you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link back to this website. If you want to listen to the question and answer section of that press conference, you can, and give WFLA the click for it. I would appreciate that. We can't do these shows without like sometimes pinching their content. So I try to be fair and uh, source my links and things like that and give them back to the chat. Try to be a fair streamer. Uh, yeah, I don't think it was her microphone. I think what it was is that they had her on Zoom, but they had her on Zoom with a set of speakers, like computer speakers or the TV or something. So you have her on Zoom speaking from her microphone into the Zoom program, but then the people in the press conference were recording the TV. So it's like you're at home and you're recording a TV show off a TV. And imagine the sound is not going to be very good, right? So yeah, she wasn't there. She was coming in via live link. So she was probably obviously at work. So yeah, that's why the sound was a little hollow for her segment. But she's amazing. I could have listened to her for hours. She was very well spoken and really knew her stuff. Let's see if we got a little bit more about Autumn here. Let's see. Yeah, they were just saying here the remains were discovered buried in the area of the trailer home, which had been removed and replaced with the new manufactured home built on top. The new home had to be removed from the lot, and the driveway was torn up for the excavation. In that press conference, you hear the sheriff say that they had to make the homeowner whole again. And I'm guessing what they mean by that is they reimbursed him money, like with money, or they contracted a service to whatever they tore up that they put back into place. And someone in the chat said no one would want to live there if they knew about a body under their house. And that's a good point. I don't think they would have had too many objections. Um, but I'm sure there's a lot of homeowners that get approached every week by law enforcement asking to search their property for human remains. I'm sure it happens quite frequently, probably more than we know, because a lot of them are probably unsuccessful and they just don't make it into the news. So I'm sure it happens a lot more than we know about. This just happened to be quite a successful one that had a very solid piece of information that led them to this property. So there you go. That is the press conference and update in regards to Autumn Lane McClure. And yeah, what a sad story. I think all round sad that her mum's not here to see the day they returned her daughter. But at least I think they said her auntie is here, is still around, so she still has some family to give her a funeral, and I'm sure the police will be there at the funeral. There's police that he was saying there was police that had worked on this case for almost like 17 years and then retired. And then they passed the case on to their new people that came in. And he's like, that's what we do. He goes, you may work on a case for 20 years of your career, not solve it. And then we pass it on to the next people and then hope the technology has improved enough where they can now solve it. He goes, we never give up. We keep going. And I thought that was a really, uh, you know, great statement from him to show how they're refusal to give up led to this one being solved. So I'm pretty sure the two suspects in this one, Jessica and Brian Donnelly, probably both thought they were free and clear. 20 years, no one's asking too many questions. Girls buried under my property, and I've probably moved out of state or something. Yeah, they probably thought they were done. Well, Brian Donnelly died a couple of years ago, and Jessica Freeman unfortunately got immunity. So but I'm sure they thought they were never going to get into trouble for it. Let's see. Anything else? Let's have a look. I'm just checking this other source for it. I was hoping we had some better photos of her. They did do an age progression at one point. At one point in time, they did do an age progression of her. I think they thought just on the off chance that she was still around. I'll show you that photo. This was what they did a few years ago from the Center of Missing and Exploited Children. They did a age progression supposed to show her at age 24. So there was still some hope that she was alive at one point, which is makes it a little hard and sad. But yeah, I just wish I had some better photos of her, like from that period. But they all seem to use that one photo of her. It looks like a yearbook photo or something like that. Something like that, like a school or a driver's license. No, I can't. Why won't you let me have the photo? Hold on. There we go. This one. This is one that they all use for everything. And it looks like a yearbook photo or a driver's license or an ID card or, something like that. But I couldn't find any others of her, unfortunately. But where is our friend up here? Where is she? States of the United, I appreciate your input tonight. I really do. Thank you for dropping by. I hope I did your friend justice, and I hope I did it sensitively enough for the circumstances. I really do, and I hope you maybe come back in the future and hang out with us. I would like that. That'd be nice. Let's see. Hey, Moonlight View. Yeah, people hiding in the bushes. Okay, we don't need any stalkers on this channel. That'd be horrible. Okay, let's move on. Oh, actually, I do have a bit better of a photo. Hold on. I just wanted to show this quickly. This is more of a full frame photo of the excavation. You can just see how many workers. The doctor says in one of her comments that one of the greatest helps on this operation was just how many sheriff's employees came out to help. She said they had like 20, 30 employees all wanting to help and to bring her home. They were all real interested. They all wanted to do it for Autumn, and they all worked in the sun and the heat. They just really, really wanted to get her home, and that was like a really sweet thing. She said on the press conference, which I thought was really nice. It's a lot of workers. It's a lot of workers. All right. Let's move on to our next story for the night. We have a couple. It's been a busy day in true crime, actually. Let me find our other one. I have an update, actually. The little boy out of Houston. I'm just trying to find the link now. Noah Johnson. If you guys remember little Noah Johnson, he had the heart condition. Well, I read just as I got up this morning, there was a alert that went out that he has been found safe in Missouri. I'll show you. It says 1-year-old boy found safe weeks after Amber Alert was first issued. He was found in, sorry, not Missouri. Noah was found in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Thursday and was evaluated by medical personnel in that city. His mother was taken into custody. You remember this little guy? Little 1-year-old Noah Johnson? Well, he's been found. It says a Houston Regional Amber Alert was canceled for 1-year-old Noah Johnson after he was found safe. Noah was found in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Thursday and was evaluated by medical personnel in that city, according to the Harris County Precinct 8 Constable's Office. It is unknown if he will be brought back to the Houston area. Noah's mom, Camilla Antoinette Johnson, 38, was taken into custody by the Minneapolis Police Department on an active arrest warrant filed by Precinct 8 on felony charge of child endangerment. She's awaiting the extradition process back to Harris County. So that's a good result. Hopefully now little Noah will be able to get his medication for his heart, and he'll start feeling a lot better soon. Oh, hey Shastas. I don't recognize the name, but hello. Thanks for being here. It is great news, right? I'm really happy because I was so worried about him. He'd been missing for like a month. He had this heart condition, and they said like he might die like if he didn't get help. So that is good news. But he was nowhere where they thought he was. They thought he was in Missouri, and he wasn't. He was far away in Minneapolis. So I don't know what the distance is. Let's see. Missouri. What is the distance? It is 500 miles away from each other, and you have to go through Iowa. So you'd go through Missouri, through Iowa, and into Minneapolis. So there you go. She jumped basically 2 states from where they thought she was. So she must have gone up from Texas and then just kept going. Just kept driving north. Where was she going? To the border? Maybe she was trying to get to North Dakota. I don't know. Maybe she was trying to get to Canada. No idea. Linda Blair. Yeah, but good news. Hold on. Linda Blair, yeah, she's from The Exorcist. All right. Shall we talk about the other Amber Alert? We've got so many Amber Alerts right now. Let's talk about the one out of Tennessee. Do we have any updates in regards to Sebastian Rogers? Not much. It just says here, day 4, urgent search continues for Sebastian. Is this the one here? I want to see if this is... One of these little videos had a search map on the actual video, and they were showing you the aerial, like the way the helicopters were searching in a grid pattern, and they had covered a lot of ground. And there is a statement saying here, they're still asking residents to check their properties twice a day, morning and at night, anywhere that he could hide, like if you have a tarp or an outhouse or a barn, anywhere Sebastian could be hiding. They want you to check it twice a day, but they want you to check it with a friend. They said do not head out into your property or field alone because they might think you are Sebastian. They have aerial assets in the air, and they're worried, like they basically said if they see you on the ground walking alone in a sort of rural area, they're going to send detectives to your home and think that you are Sebastian. So they said try and search in pairs of people so that our police in the sky know that you're not him. That's what they were basically saying. And I'm just trying to find out where's that little message from them. Maybe it's not on this one. That's okay. It says here, Sebastian's home has been searched at least 10 times, and they are now expanding the search area. They said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family has been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement and our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there is a child missing that needs our help. They also said that We understand there's a lot of interest from the family that people want to hear the family talk about Sebastian, but right now they're not in a position to talk. They don't really want to be public right now. I don't know why, or if that's just they're too upset. It's under police advice. They don't want them to do it. I'm not sure, but it says basically here. Understandably, there is interest in hearing from friends and family to help provide more of a personal context about Sebastian. Yeah, we did say that last night. Like, we don't know what he likes or, what activities he does to go look for him. He might head to a soccer field or something. However, we have been requested by the family to let local media know that they are not in a position to speak to or be available to the media at this time. We have told them that while we would relay their message, it would be the decision of the individual media outlets and reporters as to proceed as they see fit. Basically, the police are saying we don't control the media, and if they keep calling you about interviews, there's not a whole lot we can do about it because that's their job. That's basically what they're saying. Yeah, they're still saying officials have received several more tips from people calling in, and they're still asking people to check their surveillance cameras, but so far none have turned out to be credible. According to Widner, the canine teams have not been able to find any sense leading to Sebastian either. That's confusing for me. The fact that he hasn't been pulled up on any surveillance. They can't find a scent of him. No one has seen him, and they can't find him on any of the helicopters or it's something is just weird here. I'm not saying it's the family or anything like that. I'm just saying something is off. If he was just walking around the local area, they would have found him. They would have been able to figure it out. He would have heard his name being called or something like that. You know, something. It's just a bit weird. It says several community members and organizations have coordinated donations of water, Gatorade, food, snacks, and other supplies to help support those searching for Sebastian. Officials are asking anyone who wants to donate to drop off items at the Premier Event Center at 90 Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville to avoid traffic around the headquarters right now. They said no further information has been released at this time. So that's it. They also said they're using drones, canines, ATVs, and anything else at their disposal to help find him. Even extra horses are being brought in for more mounted patrols so they can search in like around the forests and grassy areas and rural paddocks and things like that. But they're saying they said they have begun the conversation of coordinating with local volunteer groups should we need them. There's a plan in place. What I don't want is to have 1,000 people out in the woods, someone gets injured, and now we have to deploy resources to them that should be deployed to get Sebastian home safely. It's what we talked about in the Samantha Murphy case. If you're going to go out and search, that's fine, but don't become part of the problem. You've got to be very sure of your skills, your fitness, and your stamina, and you have to have a great understanding of the area. Don't become a part of the problem. That's the big thing. So the police are just reiterating the same point. If you're going to go out there and search, don't become part of the problem. You're going to take resources away from finding Sebastian, and they don't want to do that. They're saying in the first 2 days, crews searched 2,000 miles on foot across the county. Wow, 2,000 miles, that's a lot. They said his home's been searched about 10 times, and now they're expanding. And yeah, they're just working on the assumption that he went out of his home and is lost. Let's listen to this little update up here.
At 5. Thank you, Mark. An urgent plea for information as the desperate search for a missing Sumner County boy intensifies. Unfortunately, there is still no sign of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, despite exhaustive efforts. We've been covering this massive search since February 26th, when Sebastian was last seen at his home in Hendersonville. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. News 2's Tori Gessner is joining us live, and Tori, officials now say they're still treating this as if Sebastian just got up and walked away from his house.
Haley, Bob, officials say there have been absolutely no signs of foul play and really no signs of Sebastian Rogers at all. No confirmed sightings of him on any surveillance camera or doorbell camera, and first responders haven't found any evidence in the woods or water or even his home, which they say they have searched 10 times. Now, today they focused on bodies of water around the area because they say Sebastian is drawn to water. Investigators are also asking the community to search their properties and do so in pairs so they don't have to use resources to confirm a person walking around alone isn't Sebastian. People in the community say they've all been impacted by this situation. They add students at Sebastian's school are also worried. Even strangers who live nearby say the situation has kept them up at night, especially because of the terrain here.
And see, it's so many woods and so much water here in Hendersonville. It's so much water and so many woods. From like Glenbrook on, it's solid woods. And you're like, there's so many places. And then we passed by T.W. Hunter up here, and they had the new drain ditches laying out there. I thought, oh, God, wonder if they searched them, you know? Wonder if they looked in there to see if maybe he was in one of them trying to stay warm, get the wind off of him. It's just too many places he could be, and it's scary.
Now, the one thing investigators did say they found were tracks leading away from Sebastian's home, but they say that lead fell up short. Now, it's unclear how long they'll be out here tonight, but of course, we'll keep you updated once we know. Live in Hendersonville, Tori Gessner, News 2.
"15-year-old Sebastian Rogers was last seen February 26th at his home in Hendersonville.
All right. There you go. Actually, a lady wrote into the chat. Hold on. Where is she? Oh, it was my friend Tara Cobb. Tara wrote. Oh, no, it wasn't Tara. Sorry, Tara. Where is it? I don't want to give out this person's full name, so I'll just say Kelly. But Kelly wrote, "My youngest two are autistic. This is my worst nightmare. My 7-year-old son is nonverbal and his 3-year-old sister has limited speech. Neither have any sense of danger and would absolutely leave the house by themselves without any thought of what they were doing. Forgetting to lock the outside door or closing windows could be catastrophic. I'm so strict about it because I have to be." She says, "Being drawn to water, for my two at least, is a sensory thing. They love to play in it. They like the sounds and the visuals of it dripping or running, splashing, etc. So if they see any water, sink, bath, pond, etc., they will make a beeline for it." She says, "I hope they find this little man soon. I'm sure he's terrified." Kelly, thank you for writing that in. I appreciate it. I left your last name off it. Well, I know that's not your last name, but I cut your username in half for some anonymity. They need a different dog if they found his tracks. Well, they said they haven't found anything right now. Yeah, because from above, they're just looking for a single person. And if they see you wandering around on your own, they might think you're him. So they would send people to your location to verify what's going on. So they're asking people to search in pairs so that aerial crews don't have to spend time, coming and looking for you. He does look a little like Chiron Holman, yeah. Yeah, drawn to water. Hold on. He's 15. Didn't we have it on the screen? Yeah, 15-year-old. Sorry, had to sneeze. I don't know. I don't think so. Did they? Hold on, I can have a look. Let's have a look here. Let's listen to the update. That didn't work.
Office, and we wanted to share an update on the search for Sebastian Rogers. As you're all aware, we are entering day 4 of the search. There have really been no investigative leads to take us anywhere. We are still operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off from his home and are searching as such. Here in a few moments, I'll go through some slides and show you what we've done over the past 4 days of searching. Really wanted to come to the community and ask for your help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property twice a day. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and we really need your help to ensure that he is brought home safely.
Okay, and when Chief talks about searching your homes, if you've got a farm, we're well aware that the tendency to follow creeks is great, and we've actually done some case studies, some history on calls and searches in the past where young men or young women have traveled to creeks. So we want you to look at creeks. We want you to look at ponds. And if you look at a pond, look for foot tracks around the pond. And then we'll go into, when Chief's ready, we're going to go into pictures and we'll show you our operational periods and the maps that we use to track our searchers. Okay, so this is day 1, and all of the rings.
There you go. That's the map I wanted to show you. Look at all these search. These lines are. I'm pretty sure these are the all the search patterns. Look at that. They have really been like. I'm guessing that middle bit is his home, and this is the areas they've covered, sort of spreading out from his home in sort of like a heat map. I'll let him explain it, but it's crazy. Look how much effort they've put in.
You see are a fixed wing aircraft, TBI's fixed winged aircraft, and they use a FLIR, and they do a continual circle on a 2-mile ring. And the video quality and the pictures that they produce are amazing. And the lines that you see that are going all over the place, the green and the purple and the blues, those are helicopters, THP Metro. And then all of the lines in the middle, when you draw that in, those are our foot searchers. So in the first 2 days, we logged over 2,000 miles of personnel on foot doing searches in those search areas. If you want to go to the next page. So that's day 2. And you can see we're continuing to expand those search areas, and you'll see clues, you'll see markers. If a searcher finds something, they mark it. We send a detective or detectives to that scene or to that area. And if they find evidence, we haven't found any evidence. And but if they find something that they think is substantial, CID investigates it. Go on to the next day. That's the next day TBI was back. That second day we had really bad weather with rain. And so these are the rings from TBI again. And they did some almost tri-oval type figures when we were looking at particular areas, and they were looking at streams at that time, and a lot of helicopter, and then more ground troops. And then we got one more day. And then today we're expanding west, and you can see those areas that personnel are searching. And so what we do is we get them in, and we've got an app that they utilize, and they create tracks, and you can see the tracks in those sections as they do the search.
So you can see like the immense amount of area that they have covered, especially dating back over the last couple of days. Like, they even had a fixed-wing aircraft out taking ground photos. I mean, no expense has been spared to try find this kid, and I don't know what it is, unless he's fallen into water or something. I feel like they may have seen him already. How far can he go, do you think? I mean, maybe I'm just being, you know, short-sighted or something, but look, you can just see, look how much area they've covered. Let's go back to the other one. Look at that. So this is Kellen Lane. That's where the house is. So the house is the center there, and these are all these little ones. These are foot. I think these red ones are foot searchers. These blue ones are the helicopters that fly around, and then these green ones are fixed aircraft, like a plane, I guess. Then these ones have the FLIR on it, or FLIR. They have the night, like the thermal camera on it, and they can take photos of heat signatures. So you would think, I mean, they've covered a lot of ground, probably further than he could walk in a day. I don't know, maybe he's just like a marathon runner for a kid and he can just go forever. I'm not sure, but you can just see, look at the distances they've covered. That's the other one, is it? Is that the other one? There's another one they've covered, all these different areas. And you can see the little tags on here, like different, like they checked a retention pond, person see by drone. They went down there and had a look. A pond here, another pond. This is a pond, another large pond, a house. You know, all these different waterways, a barn, more waterways and ponds and different brushes, and they've checked so many different things. Let me see. And there you go. There's the day one. Look, they had the FLIR fixed aircraft back out again, having a look around. More assets in the air, more walkers, people checking streams. You can see a lot of work, a lot of man hours. That's true. They can't because they don't have any body heat. That's true. Yeah, the maps are cool, right? That's what I saw when I watched this. I was like, wow, the maps are really detailed. I went back, that lead fell short. They said about the trucks leading away. Yeah, it must have been someone else. It could have even been just another person, a police officer, someone wanting to help, a mailman, who knows. Hey, Red Like Wine, how are you? What are you guys saying? I don't think it's ever been explained, but he must be somewhat able-bodied to be able to get out of the house and not be found. So whatever degree of autism or he has, I don't think it matters because he's not here, right? So he's quick enough to stay in front of everyone. Methodically, yeah. So it looks like they're sort of putting up a barrier and they're searching out to that barrier. And then the next day they increase that ring a little more, and then they search into the next level of that barrier. Then the third day they do the same. They increase that ring and search again, and they keep going. Hate to ask, but was she found alive? I don't know who we're talking. Who are you talking about, my friend? Who are you talking about? The boy that we're talking about hasn't been found yet. Missing since 2004. No, she was found deceased. Her body was removed from the property today. Her body was removed from a concrete slab. They had to dig that out and then dig into the earth to find her. So no, she's been dead since 2004. No, that's all right. You're on the replay, obviously. You must be on the replay. That's okay. Yeah, really interesting about this little boy though. I wish they could find him. We spoke about it yesterday, and we all were sitting in the chat trying to come up with other places he could go. And we had a look at the terrain yesterday. I showed you there was forest just behind his house, and they're quite extensive. And if he could get down to the bottom of his street and cross the road, there's even more forest area just at the end of his street. There's a whole bunch of it. So it's very very sad. I'm just trying to see if there's any like new information. I'm just being very cautious about the time too. Where is it? Sebastian. All right, let me just have a quick Google and see if anyone's come up with anything this evening. There. Missing teen with autism not seen on camera since disappearance, deputy says. So they don't have any verifiable sightings of him at all. That's not a good thing. You would have hoped they would have something like that, but they no, we already watched that one. That's okay. And I'm just checking this one for you. No, that's okay. All right. No, I don't see any updates this evening. Sounds like they're still trying to just keep doing their search patterns. The TBI put out an update. You know, the TBI put out an update saying that they want people to searching around Beach Hills, Beach High School, Long Hollow Pike, and to check any space on their property where he could be in shelter. That was 8 hours ago. Yeah, so a lot of people are saying two types of comments. Either check more water, or people are saying that their hinky meter has started to go off. You know, I know what they mean. Mine has too, but we have to keep a positive sighting. I mean, a positive mindset until told otherwise, I guess. Because otherwise we'll all look like horrible human beings afterwards. Yeah. It says here from Tori Gessner from local TV. She says, still no sign of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers after 4-day search. According to investigators, no confirmed sightings of any surveillance doorbell video, no evidence in the woods or bodies of water. Despite that, officials say no evidence of foul play at this time. There you go. Yeah, I don't have anything further for you.
In those searches.
Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family's been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement and our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help. So if the public is out there and you have a house close by or not close by, right? Check your property twice a day. If you find something, call us. If you have trail cams out,
Maryland Landis, they won't tell us. Like I read out the statement before, they're saying the family doesn't want to speak out. They don't want to talk to the media. They don't want to talk to police, or like they don't want to tell anything to police that they can release to the public. They don't want to give any personal details about Sebastian, nor do they want to give any background or, personalized antidotes like what is he like? Does he like football? Does he like science? Does he like, donkeys or something? Like they don't want to do anything like that. They don't want to be available for the media at all. So I don't know why. Maybe that's legal advice or police advice. I'm not sure. It could be very innocent and police have told them just to hunker down. Don't know. But let's listen to what the sheriff has to say. Oh, the deputy sheriff.
on properties that you hunt, check them. If there's an image that you think could be Sebastian, call us. Anything, any tip that you have, call us. We want to bring Sebastian home.
And when the chief says, even if it's not right here, so I actually spoke to the incident commander of a search operation that happened west of here, and a 14-year-old went missing, was found 9 days later, 6.2 miles from home. So we're looking at, we don't want to go out too far, too fast, but even if you live in Davidson County, if you live in Robertson County, if you live anywhere in Sumner County and adjoining counties that you think he could have made it to your property, search those creeks, streams, tributaries, ponds, barns, outbuildings, vacant homes, anything, any place that you think he could be.
One tip, if you're searching your property, is to search it in pairs. If we have aerial assets up and they see someone walking alone through a field, we're going to deploy resources to make sure that is not Sebastian. Secondly, if you're out searching your field and something happens to you, someone needs to be able to call for help and tend to you while we're on the way to help you. So if you're searching, please search in pairs and be safe.
What's the weather?
All right, I'm going to stop it there, but you heard him. Yeah, I know. There's that photo of him with a giant trophy. He must have an interest in something. Don't you think interests or anything he's good at might be places to check or might be places to focus on? I just don't understand why they won't release that information. It's weird. But Popcorn, if he was corresponding with someone online, that would constitute a third party involvement, which would constitute foul play, and they would have said that, but they've not said anything like that. I'm saying maybe it did happen, but they're not. I don't know. They don't know yet. Maybe they don't know about it at the moment, but so far they're saying no foul play. Oh, I wouldn't think so. I mean, you never know, but I don't think we've heard anything like that. Danny Mitchell says probably because the cops think something's sus. I think they are concerned they haven't found a sign of him. No clothing, no food being stolen, no water being pinched or something like that. I know, Shad, it's hard. It's a lot of sad stories, isn't it? A lot of very sad stories. And we still had another one, but we've run out of time, and I might have to do it for the late show. We have another one that we were supposed to get to. One, Elijah, and then two, there was another one we were going to do. Ah, the one we spoke about last night on the late show, Madeline Soto. I've got some more stuff about her too that I want to go through, but I will have to do it on the late show at midnight. So if you can't make that show, please watch it on the replay in the morning. We do about another hour after Trish gets off her show. I jump back on and we do another about 50 minutes to 1 hour, and we cover 2 to 3 more cases. So you get 2 shows a night. And I just want to thank Laurie A. Laurie A. I saw your comment earlier today, and your donation did come through. Thank you very much. That is extremely kind of you. And now that you sent that through, I know which Laurie you are. I know which Laurie you are now. So it's very kind of you, and it's really great to see you. And thanks for coming to the channel. I appreciate it. It is great to have you here. It really is. My cat just like grabbed my arm. Let's see what everyone has to say. Yeah, little Noah was found safe and healthy, and he's currently in hospital getting a once over, and they have arrested his mom. So that's really good news. That's really, really good news. Where is that one? Noah Johnson. Where is Noah? Here. See, little Noah was found today in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and his mother was taken into custody. Found like 4 states from home. Hold on, the cat is trying to jump up. Yeah, found in 4 states from home, but he was found safe, and that is some good news. Very good news. Let's see. Hey, Cheated No More and Mr. Cheated No More, how are you both? Good to see you both. Hey, giant cat, what are you doing? Here you go, you got a giant cat. Rory, what are you doing? No one wants to see your tail, girl. Come on. Get off the keyboard. Come on, cats. Hold on, guys. Sorry. She's being very very forceful. Hey Joan, how are you? Yeah, it is nice to get good news about one of the children. 100%. I'll take good news and a child going home any day of the week over a child being still missing or, worse. We need less lost cats. Is that another channel I'm not aware of? Like lost and missing and murdered cat channel? Cold case cats. Is that a real thing? Shirl Huffman said Noah's mom was on the run because she knew DCFS was wanting to take him from her. Yes, because she refused to get him medical treatment. That's why he had to go to hospital and get a specific treatment. She refused and told DCF to go get a warrant. So they did. And a judge sided with them after viewing the evidence, and she went on the run instead of getting him more medical assistance. So I I'm not fond of children being removed from their homes. I'm more fond of reconciliation and finding a way to keep them in their homes if it's safe. But yeah, I don't know. Need to find out more about what that was about. They got a new law coming down here. It's a cat roaming law, and if your cat goes outside of your fence, the pound can take them. And if you have it happen 3 or more times in a year, they will put your cat down. So it's a new law to protect native wildlife, apparently. It's a new thing down here. It's called the roaming law or anti-roaming law. We've got a couple of minutes left. Cheating Moss says, we had a telehealth appointment today for my husband. The doctor's beautiful cats were jumping onto her shoulder. We were all laughing. Cats just have to be a part of everything. They do. They do. Including mine. You guys got 2 tonight. You got the orange one and the fluffy one. Yep, cats are just being cats. Yeah, so they're trying to confine them to people's homes down here. They don't want them leaving the home property at all. Let me just check what the other 2 are up to. Let me just see if they're ready or not. It looks like Trish is doing Elijah View and Madeline Soto. We're going to do more of Madeline after she gets off because we did a lot of it last night. I've got a bit more information about Madeline and her father. We just ran out of time. So when we get back at midnight, we'll do more about Madeline. Elijah, I don't have a ton on him, to be honest. I don't really have a lot on him at the moment. Yeah, just the charges, and they're still searching. Apparently, Jesse Vang spent 3 years in prison on a federal drug charge. Not surprising. I mean, I'm not surprised about him. He told a 3-year-old that, I understand that you respect me and that What else did he say? I'm going to teach you how to be a man. What a weirdo. What an absolute weirdo. He's just he's projecting like adult emotions and concepts and things like that onto a 3-year-old. I mean, I'd get his brain checked if I was the state. Oh, some suburbs in Canberra aren't even allowed to have cats. Others have to be inside. That's interesting. Hey, Snapcrackle, how are you? I had to sign a document when I rescued my cat saying I would keep inside. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Red Like Wine says, my cat is strictly inside, but I took him in. He tries daily to escape, screams, but I can't let him out. Yeah, I know that feeling. My cats do that too. They're indoor cats. They don't go out. Yeah, we're going to go in a minute and see what Trisha's. I know, right? See what they started? Exactly, cheater no more. Only an abuser would say that to a child because they push the power dynamic back onto the child. And it's not like there is no dynamic like that. You're the adult. You're the only and sole person that can take any responsibility for anything because you're the guardian in the situation. It's stupid. Like, I've never heard of more rubbish in my life that came out of Jesse Vang's mouth in that interview. Ever. I've never heard more craziness. All right, let me just check this and then we'll get out of here. Okay. I love you all. I really do. Thank you for all the people that support the channel and tell people about it, like or leave a comment. Someone wrote to me saying we're very close to 700. That would be great to reach that milestone. And thank you to all the new subscribers. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot. I try to do as many hours of live shows each night as I can. We do 2.5, 3 hours every night, 7 days a week almost. I think we do 7 days a week, and yeah, 30 hours of shows a week or something. So I will be back at midnight. Go have fun with Trish. Tell her I say hello, and have a great night with her. Okay, and I'll see you in an hour and a half. Come back, all right? See you later, everyone. Thanks for a great show. Bye bye.